Mike Jackson with CrossFit St. John, and we're here to talk about WOD number 1 with Maritime Mayhem happening November 15th this coming weekend. And we have Ashley who's here to help us demonstrate some of the movements, and I'm also going to discuss some tips for the judges who are going to be taking on that duty this weekend. So WOD number 1 involves 20 deadlifts, 20 front hang power cleans, 20 front squats, 20 shouldered overhead, followed and finishing off with 20 overhead squats. Now the catch to this is, every minute on the minute you must stop, do your required amount of burpees depending on which division you're in, and then resume from where you left off. So it is quite time consuming, but here is what we're going to do as part of the demonstration with the deadlift. The focus of the deadlift that is going to be part of the judging standards. You must touch the ground every rep and come to a complete lockout for every rep to count. Touch the ground, complete lockout. As you're judging this, I would recommend that you stay at a 45 degree, get a pretty great view of what's going on with the hip and the knees. As you're coming up again, full lockout of the hip, knees, and body is in an upright position, touching the floor. So after you've completed the deadlifts, you have your 20 hang power cleans to go. You must come to a full hang position prior to initiating the hang power clean. Ashley will demonstrate the hang power clean. To have a completed rep, you must come to a full lockout of the hip, and the bar must be in the rack position. Some common faults are people don't open up their hips completely, or they fail to maintain that rack position before they have a full open hip. So as you're going through, a lot of common faults are the bar is in the reset before she's completely open at the hip. You want to make sure you lock that out for the rep to count. As you finish off your hang power cleans, the bar comes to the rack position, and then you initiate your front squat. Full depth is achieved and full lockout. A lot of times when people are trying to go quickly, they don't open up their hips completely, or they don't reach full depth. You want to make sure of that. As you complete your front squats, you now go into the movement from shoulder to overhead. Any movement is allowed. As she progresses into the reps that she is required to do, 20 reps, she can do a push press, a push jerk, split jerk, whatever it is that's required that makes it possible for you to get to your reps in. So she shows full control of the bar, full lockout of the arms, full lockout of the hip. If your hips are knots, a lot of times people stay soft in the hips, partial bend, but full lockout, that is a no rep. She must have a full locked out position. She's completed her 20 reps of the shoulder overhead. She now wants to get into an overhead squat. You are welcome to snatch this or power clean it and put it into the back rack position. From here, again, full depth must be achieved and full lockout at the top. The arms also must be locked out. So as you're going through the repetitions, you must achieve that lockout. As she is done, she basically puts the bar down. The judge will indicate. It's very important that you communicate with your judge prior to the time begins. Ashley may want her judge to count the reps out nicely for each rep, or if there is a no rep, you want to be very clear in indicating what that is. Now, every minute on the minute, you must stop and do your required amount of burpees. 3 for scaled masters, 5 for RX division, and the burpee looks like this. Full contact with the ground, and full lockout at the top. Hovering at the floor at the bottom is a no rep. You must make full contact on the floor, as well as being partially open at the top is a no rep. So you must come to a complete contact with the floor and complete lockout at the top for your burpees to count. From there, she would resume at the bar and continue on from where she left off. That happens every minute on the minute. Thank you very much.